Good morning, y'all. Ready to pump it up? It is Debbie G here. Hello. Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. You are watching a Cuppa Grata with a shot of expression and 2 squirts of reality. And today I have, oh my God, I've got a co-squirt that's going to knock your socks off. We're going to learn to raise the vibration, but we are also going to learn how to dream bigger, step into it, talk about his best-selling book, and learn how to manifest exactly what it is in your life that you desire. He and I both met through David Strickle, which is Thai Boot Camp. You guys know all about the Stream of David because, you've seen him on here. But today our focus is going to be all about this gorgeous individual. I'm going to just play a little peek. Ready? You guys ready to see a peek? I'm going to show you a peek. Well, now you've got 2 peeks of him. Isn't that interesting? We'll just kind of change that right now. There we go. All right. Ready? Let's check it out. I'm so excited when I don't press the button in time.
The Beyond Intention paradigm is primarily about self-empowerment. It's about getting you into a place in your life where you are constantly and subconsciously programmed to break through whatever stuck states you might have found yourself in ordinarily. In the early days, it will be more about breaking free of stuck states that already exist in your life, whether they're energetic, emotional, spiritual, psychological, mental, even physical. Now, the first thing we do is we accept. Step 1 is acceptance. We accept not only everything that is in our life, but the responsibility that we have in having created it and to make new choices to create a new future that we want. Number 2, we start to clear the energetic bonds between us and the past or the future, because it's only in the present moment that you can make real change. Step 3 is developing an attitude of gratitude. We front run what we actually want. And step 4, we witness and celebrate what we've created in our lives. Check in for more information about BIP and how it can help you dream with your eyes open.
And we're about to dream with our eyes open because step 6 is bringing Dan I can't. I asked you, say your name for me so I wouldn't blow it like a mad dog. Forget it.
It's
Then
Mangena.
I went Mangena, you guys.
Gena.
Mangena.
Gena. It's
Mangena.
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 Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Jiminy Christ. My God.
Jesus. Jesus instead of Jesus. Hard G, not soft G. There we go.
Well, hail.
Well, hail.
Look, I get like an e-ticket for effort is the deal. Anyway.
I'm going to give you an A for effort.
Oh, I get an A for effort.
Yeah, because you asked and all of the things, and it's all right.
We're going to just say that. I love that. So what I'm super excited about today, what you all are looking at is an expert in the field of dreams, of manifesting dreams, of really understanding and harnessing what it is in your life that you truly desire. And one of the things I love about you, Dan, is because I went and I looked through your website, and I just get truth chills all over. Your energy is so vivacious. You raise the vibration just by speaking. Literally, it's like right through your voice out comes this gorgeous ability to elevate us. So I don't like getting too deep into backstories, like even with my own. Without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark. You and I both know that that's not even how we roll with it.
Yeah.
But there's always a tiny little pathway that gets us to where we are. So in the shortest amount of time to talk about that pathway so we can spend more time on where you're at now. Where did this begin with you when you made that sacred yes moment of this is the journey I'm going on? And what happened prior to get you there?
So there are two. I've got 2. One happened on the 13th of February 2018, and one happened in March 2008, 10 years earlier. So the journey really began when I began my personal development and spirituality and consciousness journey about 20 years ago, but I didn't know what it was preparing me for. I didn't know back then that I was going to be here raising up the G Sparks and the G Vibes with you, Debbie G. I actually was Honestly. So I had this whole thing from, I had this vision for my life. I was going to go to Oxford University. I was going to get married. I was going to have a couple kids. I was going to work as an investment banker in the city of London. I was going to make loads of money, and then I was going to go and do some charity work. That was like
No,
the vision.
but now wait a minute, okay?
Mhm.
Your vision, I'm hearing your vision like, yeah, you were gonna go like do that whole thing. You were gonna have safety, Dan. What are you thinking? Did you not do that?
No, I didn't.
Oh
Incidentally,
my God,
everything kind
what
of
was
went a
wrong
bit.
with you?
Everything went tits up with that. So fast
Do you
forward,
go? I were giving him. I look, y'all. Do you understand? Doing the status quo
status
is
quo.
it? It's early, man.
Yeah.
It's a the status quo doesn't work. Okay, continue on. I'm sorry, I just had to.
The status quo definitely was not in the overall higher self plan. Evidently, the twists and turns took me to March 2008. I'd made and lost two multi-million-pound fortunes by that time. I was 24 years old, and basically came to the point where I'm like, all right, this is it. I failed. I'm a complete failure. There's no point in continuing with my life, and I'm
Mm,
done. Here's a really cool thing, that I was in England and not in America, because if I'd had a gun, I wouldn't be here right now.
mm,
That
mm,
was it. I
mhm,
basically, the thing, I laugh about it now, but the reason why I didn't try actively to do something is because I didn't want to fail at something else. I felt like such a failure. I didn't want to add to that failure and then it be even worse in terms of the failure. So I ended up over analyzing myself out of suicide and into a path of finding out why everything that had worked before had stopped working. And at that point, I came to understand an idea that was a seed that became the tree that is now beyond intention, which is that I am the common thread in all of the experiences that I was trying to run away from. And I am the only one that can be responsible for me successfully committing suicide. I can't rely on anybody else. I can't give that responsibility to anybody else. I have to own that responsibility. And that accidentally evolved into, okay, so what went wrong? And how can I overcome what went wrong? And how can I do things better? Not because I wanted to live, but because I wanted to die.
mm,
But in that
mhm,
journey, I ended up coming across a series of ideas, teachers, and books that helped me to see why my original model that I had before Beyond Intention, which was something called vision, purpose, faith, and gratitude, I saw why that model hadn't worked, why it did work became evident on the 13th of February. Because what I realized on the 13th of February, when I received a download of what my life would be like if I just said yes to this journey, yes to this path, and I actually found gratitude for all of the experiences. So it wasn't, up until that time, gratitude had been for the upside. Gratitude had been for I had a better relationship with my family. I had better connection. I was a nicer, more decent human as a result of all these experiences. But true gratitude came on the 13th of February because all of the darkness, everything that had led me up to wanting to commit suicide, all of the losses, all of the betrayal, all of it, without it, I wouldn't have reached this moment, that particular moment where I got to experience the beauty of everything that was to come. And so I was able to find appreciation, we would say, for all of it. And that created the transformation. I went 2 feet in, and here I am today, living the life that I do, getting to support other people living the life that they want to also.
ah. So what he's just done is you all don't need anything else in your life right there. That's it. I mean, you're done. That's it. I mean, think about it. That is the most perfect way I've ever heard this explained ever. I
Wow.
mean, you just touched on, and for those of you watching right now, hello, I see you. For those of you watching in the replay, get your pen out, go back and rewind and write all that down, your key points, because the responsibility factor lied within him. I will say the same thing. The responsibility factor. I loved how you said that. You owned full accountability. You weren't looking outside of yourself. You were here in the space of suicide, and you're like, dude, like you're not blaming the rest of the world here. I love you. You didn't stay in your victim state of mind, and you decided to actually make a shift. And that shift came in the moment when you decided to see the spark in your dark. You know, without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark. And that, amen, that is your sacred yes moment. So you have this sacred yes. And I know you all out there have been there. I know I have that fear of failure. What if I fail again? If you've ever failed at anything, and if you haven't, then I will praise. But me, Dan here, I'm backwards. Well, that's not abnormal though, actually, to be backwards. So, you know, anyway, so failure. What is failure though? Actually, though, Dan, I mean, that's what I think we get hung up on, this like concept that about the way that something should go, the attachment to the outcome of what it needs to look like. When we step into that sacred yes, did you find yourself like, shit, I can't even, you got a vision, which is what I want to hear more about, because so did I. And I want to hear more about that, because even with that, dude, come on. There's like, no, there was just that piece. Keep going.
But so I actually did a surrender experiment that summer, 2018. That summer, I did a surrender experiment, Debbie. I spent 2 months literally just following the breadcrumbs of the universe. So I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't know where the money was going to come from. I didn't know how I was going to get from place to place. I literally just went off and did it. I was in a relationship at the time. It was an interesting, that's another point of appreciation. We'll talk about that another time. But
that's the piece. Oh yeah. Radical appreciation. This guy took it to another level.
Yeah.
But but no, wait a minute. Oh, David, I see you. David. Oh, David's watching us. I feel like our
Dad,
teachers.
Hey, Dad.
Hi, Dada. We love you.
I love you, Dad.
Okay. I'm just.
Your laugh is infectious. Every time you start giggling, I find it really hard to keep a straight face.
I'm just, your energy just kills me, because it's really great. I mean, it's just, and David's cracking up, and Daniel, they think your laugh is contagious. And look at this. It's just lovely to see you both laughing. Levity is definitely the best medicine and the opposite of gravity.
Oh, yeah.
So there's something about this right now in this very second. So we'll just stop here. We'll get back to the awesomeness of his sacred yes, and what appreciation, how that lifts the vibration and you in manifestation. But laughter, sometimes right here in the present now, like we're talking about stuff and we want to tell you guys something, but let's just experience the now. Let's just right now in this very second, I'm going to just ask everybody to just step into this moment. Think about who you're grateful for, not what you're grateful for. I mean, that's cool, but who am I grateful for? Think of a hilarious moment. Get that person and think of the funniest moment you had with them. And just feel it.
My stomach hurts again.
I got one, but hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to be there. That's the thing. You had to be there. I'm just it's the giggles. It's the giggles, because we are like in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and we are, remember when they laugh and they go up in the bubbles with all the bubbles and stuff, and they float to the top. And there was this, you remember Willy Wonka?
Yeah. Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka.
And they laughed, all the way to the top of the thing, and it is truly the biggest way to raise your vibration the fastest. And that's an actual trick I use to detune going down the spiral. And
so
that
powerful.
Yeah, laughter. Okay, so back to Dan. So you were just like in the sacred yes, and you are going off into the desert. Hark, I have no clue where I'm going.
I was in the desert when this happened. I was in the deserts of Santa Fe, New Mexico, when I had my sacred yes.
Oh, Were you really?
I really was. It was just after 6 o'clock in the morning. I just finished doing a walking meditation. It was February, so it was ball bustingly freezing. I had hot pockets, long johns, hat, scarf, gloves, the whole 9 yards, and I was just burning up with light about this. It's like when they talk about your life flashing before your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
but the trajectory and timeline of this experience of me just saying yes, trusting and going for it. Because I'd had the invitation to the yes. I'd had the green lights for the yes. I'd had the inspiration for the yes. I'd had a little Jonah in the well moment around the yes. But there was still something holding me back. And I realized that what it was that I didn't trust that I was going to be taken care of. I had a very, very good life. Very, 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 very good and comfortable life. Okay.
Yeah.
And I had associated, and this is part and parcel of why I teach about abundance now, I'd associated that in order for me to step into this yes, I had to be a broke teacher, and I had
Ah.
to be poor and struggle and all of that stuff. And I was ready to do it, but I kind of wanted a little cushion. And so what the universe did was take everything away and then say, are you going to be okay? I was like, oh crap, I'm going to be okay. And then I got some of it back. And then I had this moment in the desert, and it's like, oh, I get it now. I don't even care about all of the stuff. I just want to do that. I want to just light people up. I just want to be like sharing with people and supporting them and loving on them and empowering them. That's all I want to do. And that's what I get to do now.
Ah. That was beautiful. I mean, seriously, that was just like that that you said something so key, and a lot of people who watch are out there doing this
Mhm,
work.
mhm,
We are the way showers in this world right now.
mhm,
That's what I call us, and being a bearer of light, a light worker, whatever term
mhm,
there
mhm,
is, when you're doing this to light people up. Yeah, it's scary. It's really scary because back you have it and then you're like, yeah, but I'm gonna make sure I got what I need first. Don't hold tight. I'm not. I get it. I get
mhm,
that. And then you get everything stripped. Oh yeah, I
mhm,
got that. And now all of a sudden, now you're working. Okay, how in the heck? You're not a broke as you're not a broke light worker? What? This
mhm.
is y'all hear this? He's doing what we love to do, and he's not panhandling on the street. Not that there's anything wrong with y'all who are panhandling if you're
Nothing
watching me
wrong with
on your
that.
cell. That's
Yeah.
really okay. It's just but he didn't have to, so that's kind of the point. And a lot of I think that mentality is one that is a belief system within this we'll call it
World.
genre, the
World.
world.
Mhm,
Yeah, if you're not status quo
mhm,
and you're doing something from your heart conscious space
mhm,
and you're in alignment with that, people don't think that you should be able to make money. Holy hell, okay, now we're going to get some. I just had a person in my life tell me I love this person. He's
mhm,
one of my favorite people in this world.
mhm.
Tell me how don't you understand? It's going to take you years. You can't just go out there and do that. When I started this like 4 years ago or whatever, this journey, when I started this page, when I started this platform, and now it's a company and now it's all these other things, I I got told the same thing. Are you crazy? This isn't how that the world makes money. You've lost your mind. And I'm like, I know. But here's like that's some
Lost my
freaking
mind and found
news.
my heart.
Shit. Like that's some news. All right. Come
Mhm,
on. I lost my mind. Oh, hello.
mhm.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. The point, yeah. But when we step into that though, I know we look crazy and I know it looks nuts, but this is why we really show up now. Because
Mhm,
now we get to show you what it looks like when you do trust and you do listen and you
mhm,
just go with the flow. So, all right. So you were in New Mexico. You're this and that because I know you have some books and I know you've done some stuff. And I do. Did I see that you were on TED Talk?
No, that's coming up in the
You're
new year.
coming. He's coming up on TED Talk.
Yeah.
Dude, like that's a thing. All right, start talking. So what happened after that? What did you see happen to get you to this point right now?
Well, I think when I did the surrender experiment that summer, it was really interesting to witness just being in the flow, and things didn't always go to plan. There was some contrast, right? There was a couple of times when, it was just, all right, what's going to happen next? And it was a real exercise in developing deep trust, real, not a theoretical exercise. I was in the trenches doing that. And I came off the back of that, and I was living out of my suitcase, literally going place to place with my little suitcase, wheeling it around, blissfully in bliss. And one of my
He's
friends,
he was willing he was going around with his suitcase, but you were in bliss. You guys all write that down. You're staying in bliss. I'm
Mhm,
catching what you're doing here. You're taking a situation where most people would be tripping
mhm,
out, going, and they're being judged. You're homeless. You don't have anything. You're not doing what you think. I've been
mhm.
that too. Like, can we all just raise some hands here? But you just staying in bliss. I want you to catch that, everyone. This is how you do this. Yep, yep, yep.
But do you know what's really cool though, Debbie, is that I didn't have to bring myself to a space of bliss because I was in alignment. The bliss was a natural byproduct of me just being in that flow and everything wrapped around that. So I didn't have to conjure up bliss. I didn't have to conjure up, oh my God, I need to juice myself up because I surrendered in to what I was here to do. All of that happened anyway.
Mm.
So I didn't have to cook it up. It was already in the kitchen, you know?
Well, I'm really glad that it was already prepared because I mean, seriously, because I don't know about you all, but if you've ever tried to conjure it up or try to come up with it, it doesn't work. It's just like
It's heavy
I've tried
lifting.
that. Yeah, it really is. It's very
Mm,
tiring. It's exhausting, but
mhm,
that's also not surrender. Full surrender and fully stepping into our space of at one-ment with Source
mm,
is the surrender. And if somebody's curious, that's what it is for me. So if you could really describe your perception of the word surrender
mhm,
for everybody, so that they could really grasp onto the juice that's in there.
mhm. So I'm very careful with surrender. Um, Many people hearing me say that even out loud with you may be confused because normally I'm calling into question people surrendering because I ask and invite people to ask what are they surrendering to. So for me, surrendering in an empowered way doesn't happen unless there's a clear intention that you're surrendering to, or a clear energy that you're offering that conscious awareness power to. Because otherwise, you're just going to be surrendering to yourself, playing out the same unconscious patterns that you've been playing out the whole way along. That's why I feel there are people that are doing the surrendering thing, like I'm just surrendered to the flow of life, blah blah blah, and their life's still crap. You know,
Right.
they're still miserable, they're still lonely, they're still broke because they're just playing out the same patterns. For surrender to have power, we have to transcend the direction of where that surrender is being placed. So that
Mm.
rather than it being an unconscious pattern that we've been playing out the entire life that we've been up till now, we're setting a new direction and then surrendering into that new flow so we can move into a new direction and then allowing the greater part of ourselves and the greater part of our wholeness and oneness to take the wheel. That's what surrendering is for me.
Mm. Okay, I love that. What do you do about the monkey mind when you're first stepping into surrender and the monkey mind tells you you're doing it wrong?
You love the monkey mind because the monkey mind isn't your enemy. The monkey mind is your friend. It's just playing out the narrative that you've given it. You know, when I talk to people about the mind and I talk to people about beliefs and we talk to people about uh, mental fortitude, the mind is a perfect executing machine. It's a terminator. It's a goal terminator. But most of the time, we're not conscious in terms of the goal that it's running on. We're just playing out, right, the narratives of our unconscious programming, of our past, of our traumas, versus giving it a new program. The mind will perfectly play out any program that it's given. Before even stepping into thinking about surrendering, consider taking some time. Number one, getting to know what your patterns are. And I've got some hacks for that. And number two, developing a relationship with your mind where you'll be supported in that, so that when it does kick up with echoes of the old, you can simply love and nurture it and remind it how cute that you still think that you have to be scared of that. We do things differently now. We are loved, we're supported, we're going to be okay.
That is beautiful. I love this because in my world, this is how this works. You guys ready for some hacks? Let's give them a couple of hacks, and then I want to talk about a couple of things like your books and also how that they can even get deeper into these hacks. So, what are a couple hacks to catch the pattern, break the pattern, practice, and set the pattern and shift the pattern so that it becomes the new one?
Well, let's first of all start to develop a relationship, a conscious relationship with the patterns themselves. And I've got an exercise for that I call, I just forgotten the name of the exercise, but I'm going to tell you the disruption exercise.
But that's why the disrupt. Well, that's why you forgot it, because you needed to be disrupted. I mean, seriously. Just saying.
But what we do is we spend a period of time. I suggest just using an hour at first and then extending the time, just interrupting anything that you go to do impulsively. So if you go to, so for example, I was just about to reach and get something to drink. Rather than me just reaching out to do it, I just ask myself, do I really need to have a drink right now? I wait for the answer, and then I either take the action or I don't. Do I really need to use the restroom right now? I'm not saying for anyone to pee their pants or anything, but before taking any impulsive action, pause for a moment and just ask. And that's going to start to develop a conscious awareness of what's going on. You're starting to build that relationship. You're getting to know your mind, because most of us, our mind is a stranger because we've never stopped to hear it. We've never stopped to dialogue with it. So we start with the interrupt exercise, the disruption exercise. And then what's going to happen is now, because that dialogue is there, you're not looking at a strange, unknown, hidden entity now. We're looking at something that we've actually got some kind of connection to. So now we can start to question from a new angle. Why? So we've asked, do I? Now we can start to ask why. Like, where's this going to? So in this instance, why am I drinking this? Because I'm thirsty. Why am I thirsty? Oh, okay. Now we're starting to step into playful curiosity. So now the dialogue with that part of ourselves isn't happening from a parent-child thing of us telling our inner child off. It's let's have a dialogue. That's a much better footing from which to start introducing a different dynamic in that relationship. So now when I start saying, hey, inner mind, I know that we've been traumatized by XYZ, and we feel that everybody that looks like ABC is going to do FGX. But why do we think that? Maybe let's look at some of the examples of people in the world that don't do that. So if we're saying, for example, I've got to be broke, and someone offers us an opportunity and we say, oh, I can't do that because I'm a light worker. But now I can say, oh, how interesting that that's the narrative that's coming up. Why? Do I believe that? Am I prepared to open up to the idea that that's not true, that maybe there's another way? Because then if I start to examine evidence that challenges the idea, I'm open to it, versus evidence being presented when I haven't challenged it, my reticular activating system shutting down so I don't see it, or I create excuses, stories, and narratives to say that I can't have it. Now I actually have an open field for change. But it starts with developing that relationship. And one way I offer for people to do that is the disruption technique. Start with an hour, move to half a day, and just play with it. Notice it, journal about it. What stuff can I look back on and say, oh, I wasn't aware? When was I not consciously aware? What facilitated? Where was my emotional state? Where was I on my spiral? It's just a new relationship with your inner mind, and that's a new relationship with your reality.
And that's a wrap. I mean, I'm just like, this is so juicy, you guys. This is really scrumptious, yummy, delectable food that you are being fed right now. And every ounce of this is truly I can promise you, I don't need to add to what he says with anything in my experiences. We're in alignment. What he says is on point.
That's
This
off.
is, well, there's just no need. Like you just said it exactly the way I see it. And I just love that it's
Mm,
alignment. Um, ooh, I'm getting that to bring up the word faith with you.
mhm,
Faith.
mm,
Okay, so talk to me about faith. We've talked about surrender. Now we're going to go into to faith, and then the next word that's coming to me is humility. So
mm,
we'll go to faith
mhm.
first.
I've got an interesting. I call it interesting. Maybe that's where the humility comes in. Me just being humble about that. I've got this interesting thing around faith that faith is just certainty of an outcome, and that faith and fear are two sides of the same coin. It's certainty of something happening. Faith is certainty of something happening that I desire. Fear is some certainty of something happening that I don't want. But when we start to develop a conscious relationship with what's going on internally, we can direct that power of certainty and we can start to create that level of certainty or start to challenge that which stands between us and that certainty, whether it's fear, what I don't want, or faith, what I do want.
Wow, that's a really great breakdown of faith. Fear, the false evidence appearing
Feeling
real.
real. Hmm.
And how the fear of failure, like when we were talking about in the beginning, I mean, that's
Hmm.
real.
Hmm.
I took a big step recently, Dan, to go all in again in my life, but this time it's going all in with Spirituality Gone Wild,
Hmm.
going all in with all of our co-creators on our team,
Hmm.
going all in and believing in this process and the dream and the vision that we were given when we started
Hmm.
this. But man, like the last couple days I've had there's been this or that or whatever, the
Hmm.
distractions that come up
Hmm.
testing me. I even went down my spiral for like a whole day. I really
Hmm.
did. That fear is that of, what's going to happen if this all blows up? And I think that's what was keeping me down my spiral, though. It was this fear that shit, I can't do this. Oh my God, how am I going to get this done?
Hmm. Hmm.
Rather than even just taking this moment to step back and trust the process, have the faith,
Hmm.
stop looking at the fear. But I also resigned myself to the fact, and if it does,
Hmm.
oh freaking well, I'm still here breathing. Believe me, y'all. If I'm here breathing, for God's sake, I mean, geez, I could have been taken out many times. This
Hmm.
is, I'm just like, okay, if it goes, I've already been there, done that. I've already
Hmm.
lost everything a couple
Hmm.
times. Who cares? Who cares? Because I also heard that you lost that attachment to the stuff in the
Hmm.
abundance that you
Hmm.
create for your life, and which brings us to the now, where you're at right now in this gorgeous. You're in where are you in Cabo?
Yeah, I live in Cabo.
That's why I put the see. We're I'm like jelly right now, so I figured I needed to make myself feel like I'm in Cabo, doing a little Cabo dance.
Cabo dance.
A Cabo dance. Well, I I want people to I'm just going to show y'all something. So this gorgeous man has written this, stepping beyond intention. And then I'm going to show you another thing too. Beyond intention basics. Did you know that you can work with him? We're going to get all into this, and he's going to talk to you about that. And he's also going to talk to you about some other good stuff. Do it with Dan. Now, this is sparking my G vibe right here. I got to tell you right now, do it with Dan. I'm all about do it with Dan. I'm not sure, I mean, y'all about doing it with Dan? I want to do it with Dan. And oh my God, now I want you to, I mean, that's
Oh God.
I love that. I mean, you've got like two businesses in one. Just saying. I mean, if that shit doesn't work out, you get to freaking go.
And
I'll
there's
I'll
replays
pimp
for
you.
digital content as well.
Yeah, well, I'll just pimp you out. Just do it, Dan. You guys all get it, and this is this floating along the screen here. You just go to Dream with Dan, so you can do it with Dan.
Yeah.
Everybody. Oh, see, I told you. Sorry, I got to mess with you.
I don't
I
think
just
anybody's going to be anywhere near any lower parts of this spiral after this laughter, this
yeah, no.
levity. Going to be up
Eh,
the spiral,
no, and
definitely.
if they are, then they've got to stick up their butt. And I
Yeah,
love that they have a stick up their butt, quite
and
frankly.
maybe
And if
that's
you,
where they want the sticks to be.
I'm telling you right now, yeah, and
Hmm.
that's what I love. It's like if that's where they are, God bless you.
Hmm.
Letting go of what things need to look like and the outcome of what they need to be
Hmm.
has been a big process in the manifestation and
Hmm.
abundance. We know that. But let's talk about how did you're in Cabo, you're living your life that you desire.
Hmm.
You work with people to help them in this process as to guide them, to give them the
Hmm.
tools that they need so they actually can help themselves. And you're going to be on TED Talk. I mean, let's face it, TED Talk's a freaking accomplishment, dude. Like that's some shit right there. I'm so freaking stoked right now. I'm so
I think.
proud of I'm so proud of you, son. I'm
Thank you,
telling
Mama.
you. You're
Thank you, Mama.
welcome, honey. I mean, it's like I am so proud of you. Hey, look at my kids are 32 and 28. You guys are about the same age in there. So I'm telling you, I could be mama. You just don't know. Debbie becomes everybody's mother. I'm like the mother hen. I always wanted, 15 kids, and now I'm gonna get them, I guess.
Just grab them. You're
But
mine.
he'll,
You
he'll,
just
he'll kind of
accumulate the
take you, and
children.
I
Yeah.
want you. I'm gonna take
You
you.
be
That's
mine.
what.
You'll be
Yeah,
mine, my child.
I'm pretty. I want some candy, special candy. All right.
Mhm.
It is just that the shift has happened, guys.
Mhm.
Y'all worried about the Mercury retrograde? Get over it. Stop tripping. It's
Mhm.
going to happen. You're going to
Mhm.
have stuff happen no matter if you believe that or not. You believe whatever. This is
Mhm.
how you lift the vibration. You
Mhm.
feel into the energy. But honestly, I don't normally have guests on where I just can't stop laughing. It's you. Your energy, the vibration of where you sit right now in your life, which is what we were going to talk about. How did you get to Cabo and TED Talk?
So Carbo. So I came to the end of my surrender experiment. I was in Toronto at the end of it, and kind of still rolled into Toronto. And then I was invited. No, I was coming down to Mexico City for an event. Um, Came down, not my event. I came to what someone else's event. Met up with some friends, and they'd asked to house sit their place in another part of Mexico called San Luis Potosi. They were going out to Australia for 6 months or something like that. So I'm in Mexico. Things were going the way they were going, and I got invited to come to Cabo to come and scout for a speaking gig. At the time of getting that invitation, I'd actually gone up to Florida. I'd done a workshop in Florida. Hang on, no, I got up to Seattle, done a workshop there. Then I went to Denver. I did a workshop there. Then I went to today is actually the anniversary of my coming to Cabo. Actually, 2 years ago. Then
Wow.
I went to Florida, and then my friend was like, "Hey, don't even like think about anything. Just come. Just come to Cabo. We've got a spare room. Just come. Don't think about anything. Like I'll grab you from the airport. I just want you to see this place." And this friend had been trying to get me to come to Cabo for about a year. I'd been to Cabo for a workshop a year and change before, but I hadn't seen Cabo. Came out of the airport, went to the hotel, back to the airport, and flew out. So I didn't experience Cabo. So I'm here, supposed to be for 3 days. 3 days turned to 10. And during that 10 days, everything just started clicking into place in the weirdest way. Click, 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 click. I had my first 5-figure month in this particular business, having set the intention about 3 weeks before, 4 weeks before that I was going to do it. So that clicked into place. I was happy every day. I noticed that I hadn't been down my spiral for a minute. I'd just been up my spiral, and not by any kind of design. It's just the way that everything had been. And more things were just flowing. Everything was just really rocking and rolling. And of course, I lived out of my suitcase, so I didn't have to be anywhere. So I checked into a hotel across from the beach, and was like, okay, this is where I live now. And that was that. Obviously, I was still sort of buzzing around doing my work in different places and so on and so forth. But yeah, I was living in a hotel up until last November when I got the place I'm in now. But yeah, I was back and forth. I was traveling to different parts of the world and so on and so forth. But 3 days turned to 10, that turned to that's just where I am now. Here I am.
Wow. So, well, Jiminy Crickets. Excuse me, y'all. That didn't want to come out.
Mhm.
So you're there and you're in Cabo and you're doing, I saw that you're doing live speaking. You're going to be
Mhm.
on TEDx. Talk to me
Mhm.
about, how does that feel to you?
I'm really excited, like really, really excited. I'm not talking about. I'm not going to say what we're going to be talking about because we're going to be doing announcements on that because there's been some wiggling around with the whole COVID thing. Like we've got to like firm the actual date and location-y things got to be like reconfirmed. But I'm going to be taking the stuff that we do and showing people that don't realize that this is real why they have to see it as real, and giving them the opportunity to come to our way of doing things and realize that there's space for everybody here. Whether you like rainbows and fairy cakes or not, whether you're vegan or whether you're not, like whether you want to be call yourself Palladian or Earthling, like whatever you want to do, there's a space for you here, and it's just a cool way to live life. That's effectively what we're going to be doing. We'll take that message to the mainstream audience and let them know this stuff is real.
Mm. I'm just kind of sitting here listening to you right now, and I can't wait till we're done here with this show so I can tell you the premise behind. Have you heard Spirituality's Gone Wild?
It's
Haha.
not gone wild. It was born wild.
Ooh, ooh, you're born wild. We were born. Oh, you do like right? I mean, but now breaking the status quo, bringing this message to the mainstream. Hallelujah. Damn right. That's what it's all about.
Mhm.
We got look. I'm telling y'all, this is happening, and it's happening all over the world. It's happening everywhere. It's happening right here, and you're watching it as it is progressing. And this is just incredible. Okay, so I am going to bring up this book here
Mhm.
because Dan, I really want to talk about Stepping Beyond Intention. This is available right on Amazon. I'll put the link
Mhm.
into the chat afterwards. But talk to me about what's in this book and give us a couple of nuggets from this book.
So, stepping beyond intention basically breaks down my beyond intention paradigm. That the video you played at the beginning of our time together talks about, and that's the 4 steps to creating the choices that lead to the outcomes that we actually desire, breaking free of the stuck states that stand between us and what we desire. My premise is that every thought becomes a thing unless we get in the way of it becoming a thing. Every thought that becomes a thing became a thing because there was an alignment in what we were feeling, our vibration, where we are on our spiral, our thoughts, our thought quality, our beliefs, and how we showed up, our environment. When all of those things are in alignment, something comes forward. So when we understand that alignment leads to outcome and that we can use choice to direct where alignment is and use choice to decide where alignment is being pointed, then we can create anything that we desire. And the book teaches how.
I'm just please go get the book. I'm actually going to get the book. I'm excited about this. That to me that sounds like a beautiful way to spend a weekend of just really diving in and getting some juicy new direction in life.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I'm loving that you've brought this forward. Talk to us about how people can work with you privately and what you can offer out there so that they can get a hold of you.
Well, I don't actually work with that many people privately on a one-on-one basis because I put a lot into that. We have group work that we do, got group coaching program, predominantly around my work around abundance, but people come forward with everything. And I actually do 3 group calls a week. I love doing my group calls. They literally light me up. So Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 o'clock Eastern time, we've got group calls. And we empower people with the tools and the frameworks and the structures, and then the support, guidance, and community to create abundance. Now, the cool thing about abundance is just abundance. I start with the financial, but people soon realize that the financial abundance is reflective, or it's a measuring stick for everything else. And that once you develop a level of reality creation mastery, you can direct it to anything. So what we use is this as just an example of an area, a training ground for us to develop that mastery so that we can direct it anywhere. So we come in and learn about financial abundance, but invariably people's relationships improve, their health improves, they find their purpose, and they just like life better. But it's not the be all and end all.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love this. And I am just really grateful that you took me up. I asked you to be on here. We can't very well do this without talking about Taya Boot Camp for just a second. Okay.
Which I'm starting on the 7th of November. I'm really excited about that.
Oh, have you taken Taya?
No, I've just been on the outskirts. I've been like on the cursory, periphery. I've had the relationship with David and been in the stream. I've been bathing in the stream for all of this time. But everything's lined up time-wise because I'm starting to do my slowdown, end of year slowdown, that I can have the time to really sit in and really be a part of it and really sort of get into the yumminess of it. And I'm starting on the 7th of November. Really freaking excited about that.
Congratulations. Seriously. Thai Boot Camp has some great tools, and you're in such beautiful alignment. I'm just so honored that you were here with us today. And is there let's just leave them with one last golden nugget of gratitude. Radical appreciation is definitely how I changed everything in my life. I getting grateful for all aspects. But what about that? Can you share with people your biggest gratitude moments, what they look like?
I now see that the biggest gratitude moments for me were the ones that I didn't really recognize to be gratitude moments at the time. Right? The times that I didn't realize that the spark could only be seen because there was the dark, to put it in a G-ism, right? And that's evolved into me just being okay with what's there. Now, I want to put a clarification point on there. I've spent time developing a conscious relationship to the direction that I'm going in. So now I can trust that I'm going in the right direction, even when things don't appear to be, because I'm very clear and very deliberate in where I'm going as in direction. I can celebrate all of the contrast, I can celebrate all of the polarity that shows up in the meantime. But honestly, balls that hit the ground the hardest bounce the highest. So those biggest points of pain have actually been the most beautiful entry points into the most glorious points of celebration.
Beautiful. In my own life right now, this morning, Dan, I got up this morning. I had a couple things hit. And what this has helped me to do is to really get this whole entire time with you has allowed me in my own personal life today to get into alignment with where I need to be, to keep my focus, my focus and my energy on my dream and what we're doing, to take one more step forward today. Because what would happen is, like, all of a sudden I started thinking about how what can I do to fix this or fix that, or this doesn't look right, that doesn't look right. But actually realizing I'm just sitting here, and this is just right before we got on, what hit me. Yeah, that's not going to serve this. That's not going to serve you. So, I mean, I just am in so much gratitude for you right now, for you bringing this remembrance forward, for lifting the entire vibration, literally, of the universe. You've got some bomb energy. Oh my God. It just flows.
Thank you.
I am just, and I'm in just pure gratitude for you being here, period. And
Oh, thank
everything
you.
that you've done. I want to have you back again because actually I want to take some deeper dives into
Count me
some
in.
of the, oh, sweet. We're going to do that. Everybody, I am going to let you know that you can join Spirituality Gone Wild's Untamed Club and get access to a lot of our co-creators' special work, their courses, their whatever, and there's a whole lot of other stuff going on behind the scenes. And so that's the place you want to be. Go
Definitely.
to spiritualitygonewild.com, use the code gratitude. Yep, I love you. Use the code gratitude. And it's under $20 to join our, think Spiritual Sam's Club. It's kind of like that. It's where all the good stuff is, but with lots of goodies, and it's a win-win-win for us all.
I was going to say, Debbie, before we go, just something I've just remembered. On the 15th of November, I'm doing a completely free workshop
Oh,
around entrepreneurship using the alignment tools, using the tools from my Micro to Millions program, where we've created millionaires, we've created people six figures, some cases less than a year. But directing that specifically to your business, whether it's a conscious business, whether it's a brick and mortar business, whether you're a real estate agent, it doesn't matter. If you want to start looking at the creation of your reality through alignment and flow as opposed to hustle and push, free workshop 15th of November. They head to the website dreamwithdan.com/BSW. Then they can go ahead and get access to the free workshop on the 15th of November.
wow, I'm there. So what I'd like to do is invite. I will let the team know, all of our 15 co-creators, and including David, all of us. This is the thing. No matter where you're at in life, you always need this reminder, this
Mm,
refreshment, this new direction, this maybe a new pathway. And workshops
mm.
like what you're getting ready to do, especially in conscious business, are imperative for us today. So I'm looking forward to it. Quite frankly, I'm excited, and the if you can we'll put the link into the comments so
Yeah.
that we have those available. You guys can just click on them. So with that, my darlings, it has been a glorious hour. Thank you for joining us here on Spirituality Gone Wild. If you missed this morning with American Gumption, please go back, watch the replay. If you miss, I think David Strickle, is today Wednesday? Today is Wednesday. He is on today at 4 p.m. Pacific time, right here on Spirituality Gone Wild. And we have a slew of other hosts and shows. You will catch me again on Women Rising Saturday morning on Unify, and right here on Spirituality Gone Wild, because Women Rising, oh, dude, that's like a show. Let me tell you. Oh, my God. I love that show. All right, guys. I love you. Peace.